Good morning. My name is Rayanne, and I would like to share with you a story that I call Check the Weather Before Climbing Mountains. It's a tale of a family who wants to go out on an adventure, but Mother Nature seems to have other ideas for them. It starts on a beautiful spring morning. My husband and I were anxious to go outside and explore a little bit. We are a very outdoorsy kind of family. We like to go hunting and camping and hiking and fishing and things like that. And the winter had been cold and rainy, so we hadn't been able to go out a whole lot. So we got on the website at the park sites and found Enchanted Rock. And we decided that that was going to be the perfect destination for us today. For those of you who don't know, Enchanted Rock is a beautiful, massive pink granite dome. It's about 1,800 feet above sea level, and the dome itself covers 640 acres roughly. At the end of our adventure, we had talked to the park ranger, and she told us that climbing to the top of Enchanted Rock is like climbing the stairs of a 40-story building. So it's a pretty intense climb, but we liked the outdoors. We figured we could handle it. So we gathered up our children, who were 4, 6, and 8 at the time, my 2 brothers, my sister-in-law, and 2 nephews, who were also about 7 and 8 at the time. And we packed our stuff up. We had snacks, we had lunch, we had a camera, we had water, and lots of sunscreen, because my family tends to burn, so we needed the sunscreen. And we headed out. We thought this was going to be beautiful. We were going to climb to the top, we were going to have a picnic, we were going to take pictures. Things were going to be great. So we're at the bottom of the mountain, and we look, and it doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's doable, so we pack our hydro packs, get our water bottles, the kids have their snacks, and we head out. And the first 20-30 minutes was nice. It was a nice, smooth granite walk. It wasn't intense at all. And we stopped about 30 minutes or so, and we figured, hey, we're almost done. We turned around, and we looked behind us, and we could see the restrooms. And they were only about this big, and people at the bottom of the hill looked like little ants kind of scurrying around the ground. Well, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. We got this. It's not too far. We have to be halfway. We have to be more than halfway. Now we turned to look to the other way, and we looked, and we realized that Enchanted Rock gives you a sense of false security. You think you're almost at the top, but you're really not. You're probably a little less than halfway. But we figured it'd be a good time to have a snack, so we stopped and we settled down for a few minutes, give the kids some snack and some water. It's right about now that I started to notice the wind. And it wasn't a heavy wind at the time, but it was a very steady and constant wind. But, it was about 85 degrees, and so the wind felt good. So we decided, it'll be okay, and we kept going. So we packed the kids back up, and we started going up the second half. It's here that the wind started picking up a little bit more. I'm having trouble staying steady. The kids, especially the 4-year-old, are kind of being blown around. So we realized we've got to probably grab onto them and help them. So you have 5 adults with 5 children. We're all anchored together, 2 by 2 going up the hill now. The wind is getting stronger and stronger. Now, logic would say, turn around and go to the bottom of the hill. But we'd already come so far, we figured we could make it to the top. And once we get to the top, surely the wind wouldn't stay. Faulty logic, I realize, but at the time it seemed like a good idea. So 2 by 2, we're struggling up the hill. The wind is blowing and telling us, you're not going to be able to do this. And we get to the top. So we made it. We couldn't stand up straight. We had to kind of slouch over because the wind was so strong that we were really afraid one of the children were going to fly off the top of this rock. And really, that's not a story you want to have to tell somebody. What happened to Tara? Well, we went to Enchanted Rock and she blew off the top, and she's probably in Oz with Toto right now. So we scrapped the idea of lunch, we scrapped the idea of pictures. We decided the best thing for us was to get to the bottom of the hill. So we turn around and we start trudging back. And the wind is pushing us. The wind is like, yes, get to the bottom. We don't want you on this rock. So we get all the way down and we do our picnic at the base, which was still fine. We still had a good time. We were still with family and hanging out. And we drove home. And it wasn't until we were watching the news that evening that we realized we had been under a severe wind advisory. So the wind gusts that day were between 50 and 60 miles an hour. Probably not the best time to go climb 1,800 feet above sea level. We looked at each other and we kind of laughed and figured that was bad planning. It's been about 7 years, and we have yet to climb back to the top, but if we do, I know that we will check the weather first. I hope you enjoyed my story, and if you've never checked out Enchanted Rock, you really should. It is a beautiful piece of nature. Just be sure to check the weather before you go.